Have you ever had a bad day and nothing's just going right? There's a big frown on your face, and you look outside and everything's so gloomy. And then you look at your favorite song or painting, and then bam, right there. There's a smile on your face, and outside looks bright and cheery. Now ask yourself, why is it whenever I listen to music or look at a painting, my day gets 100% better? How can it be that a specific song or a simple art piece could do that? Well, believe it or not, this is just an evolutionary trait that our ancestors had from thousands and thousands of years ago. You see, in today's presentation, I would like to discuss to you how the arts, such as music, performing arts, performing theater, and the arts helps affect society. And through this presentation, I would like to talk about how the arts affected the ancient world, how arts are used on babies to help increase neuroplasticity. And my partner itself would like to discuss how the arts are used at healthcare facilities and the education system. Without further ado, let's explore the arts of the world. Our first stop is 100,000 years ago. The Neanderthals, our distant relatives. Now, as the Neanderthals left their caves, they left something completely miraculous behind. And this is the first instance of a cave painting, the first instance of art. Now, why would a Neanderthal paint such majestic art piece? They were too busy hunting or trying to survive. They had no time to do such leisure acts. But a matter of fact, the Neanderthals used this art piece to communicate a story. They used art to tell stories for generations and generations. Not only did the Neanderthals use this, but the ancient Egyptians used hieroglyphs to help explain their culture and religion. Alongside with that, art is used to communicate with people across the world, and whether it be from a painting or a performing art act. You see, the ancient Greeks used performing arts and theater to describe stories, to teach their children and their grandchildren about morality and morals. And if you look at modern times today, we look at artists such as Ed Hopper and his paintings and how it affects modern views of the world. Although it may be quite somber, but Ed Hopper's paintings is used to connect with thousands and thousands of people across the world. With that being said, art is also used to help increase neuroplasticity. Professor Barbosa and his team conducted a musical theater performance on children, specifically babies from the ages of 0 months to 6 months. And of this experiment, they had 11 different scenes or music types, if you will. Each scene had a different tempo, a different pitch, and a different rhythm. As we look at this graph here, the more the more hyper the tone was, the more engaged the baby was. And when a baby's brain is engaged, it develops neuroplasticity. What neuroplasticity really is the constant use of the brain. The more times you engage the brain, the more neuroplasticity you have. And music has the ability to do that. It is often said that babies who listen to Mozart will become geniuses. And that's because each different song has different rhythms which activates and stimulates different parts of the brain, which helps build and further strengthen the child's brain to have further and better development through their growing years. Without further ado, I like my partner to explain how the arts are used in healthcare. Take it away, Absal.
Art has started to be implemented in health facilities for the mental well-being of patients during their stay. Hundreds of hospitals have implemented these art programs to help patients. However, there's still a demand to implement it at different locations. But these hospitals that already have these programs invite artists like painters, musicians, and dancers that actually work alongside patients to help them find an interest. spiritual caregivers that are defined by Ethan as spiritual caregivers is an integral part of the interdisciplinary team. By this, they refer to that these spiritual caregivers help the patient as well find in our interest by the connections they have made, along with asking questions like what arts they enjoy and what arts they're comfortable with. When patients enter these healthcare facilities, they usually feel out of their comfort zone, out of place, along with feeling that they're more identified with their sickness or injury rather than themselves. These feelings can go home with them after they leave the facility. However, it has proven that art helps with this. Some of the main benefits that come from art is the joy of creating something, the satisfaction of human need to create, and even just appreciating what has been created. This holistic approach also makes the patient more comfortable with themselves and feel more connected, helping them express themselves, which wouldn't be possible without these art programs. Another place that art is being implemented into is school classrooms. By implementing art into school classrooms, students have the ability to have fun as well as finding a passion, but they also develop another skill. In cultural context, America has had confusion with policies relating to art. There is some schools who actually have made it a requirement to take an art class from high school to university. America has recently valued the importance of creating something, though art itself is not recognized for its own form rather than its enhancer for another subject, like science or math, that are viewed more important. For this reason, it hasn't made the central position in learning, and some would say that art needs to get more recognition and more funding to continue students' learning of it. Art has made it possible for culture evolution and over the years and self-expression dating back to the Homo erectus era. Art making has helped develop intuition, which is a contributor to cognitive thinking. Intuition is between instinct and cognitive thinking, which helps create different solutions for inflexible problems. By developing this skill, communities can be built through shared values as well as experiences, which can help build bonds through people. At the end, they are contributors of the community. The arts are a major part to this day to society as well as the human psyche. Today we had the opportunity to inform you about how art connects society, music help development in children, helping patients through art along with helping students with art. Art has been in the lives of humans for thousands of years and still to this day is very important. Without it, society would not be the same.